Can a Pennsylvania-themed vivarium with Native American toads that call it home truly be the star of a nature documentary? That's the question that we pose in today's featured episode of Frog Week 2025 as we close the curtain on Season 1 of the Woods Uncut, a series centered around the 242-gallon PA Woods Vivarium and the lives of three remarkable rescued American toads, Junia, Baldwin, and Ananias II. This is the flagship show for the Woods and Forests Media YouTube channel. It's taken nearly 7 years for this project to come to fruition, and I can't wait to share this with you. It's everything that I could have hoped for and more. We have three incredible American toads, and everybody's story is unique. Everybody belongs. But it is a hostile environment. There's one guarantee in this enclosure: you'll always know where Junia is. She's used to sitting out because she came from a 10-gallon enclosure at California University of Pennsylvania, or Penn West. She was the toad that nobody wanted. No zoo, no research station, nobody wanted to take her as they were getting rid of the animals in their herpetology department. Finally, it got down to me, and even though it was reluctant at the time, I realized it was one of the best decisions I ever made, giving this presumably 10-year-old American toad the best possible home that an American toad in captivity could have. And she has adjusted very well to these conditions. She's now one of the apex predators in this ecosystem, and I think, honestly, she loves the spotlight. She's incredible. She's even learned to hand feed, or she'll go to targets and allow me to target train her and take the prey items from the deli cup lids that I set them on. Junia is nothing short of incredible, and we covered her story in the Woods Uncut earlier this year. I would encourage you, if you want to learn more about this cute, personable little American toad, to see the story about the American toad that nobody wanted. In this finale episode, we recreate what would happen naturally across Pennsylvania in the forests and the woodlands at this time after a summer rain, the insect boom. Caterpillars are found very consistently this time of the year.
Fatality.
As I'm out in the field observing the American toads in the wild, I also take all of that information back to these enclosures and try to apply it to my animals, giving them the best natural life that we could possibly simulate in this artificial vivarium. So they have exposure to things that a lot of the American toads would experience in the wild, in some of the habitats where some of these toads are even from. Another feeder insect that is so special, I want to give a special shout out to Dean Missimer, if I pronounced your name right. He breeds grasshoppers captively, and this was one of the dream episodes I always wanted to create. Could the American toads catch grasshoppers? We were going to get our answer throughout this episode, but I have to say, the first interaction, I was a little bit surprised, and it was a little bit less suspenseful than what I would have believed with these aggressive and bold and personable American toads. The first interactions appeared to be very underwhelming, but that's okay because it was, again, the first interactions that these American toads had with these specific grasshoppers. But it was still going to be something we tried to include in this episode to see if these American toads were skilled enough to catch a grasshopper. Caterpillars offer the toads both hydration and nutrition, which is something critical in midsummer in the wild when the puddles dry up quickly. This is one of the best meals that the American toads in the wild are eating, and also our American toads in the Woods Uncut. I want to give a special shout out to Josh's Frogs for being our main choice when we're purchasing feeder animals to provide a nutritious and diverse diet for these American toads.
Fatality. Fatality.
There's one group that is featured in this storyline that doesn't live in the PA Woods Vivarium, and that is our black field ant colony, the United. These were provided by Mac Pridgeon from Tar Heel Ants. These black field ants are one of the main prey items American toads would consume in the wild. According to a lot of research studies, ants make up nearly the bulk of the entire diet for American toads. And it makes sense because they're so commonly seen and they're so abundant across the woods and forests and even the backyards in Pennsylvania. So the last couple of years, we've been building this colony up so that way we could, for one, keep them as a pet and observe them, but also use them as feeder insects once their colony explodes. This has been one of the most satisfying, enjoyable, and exciting adventures that I've ever been on, trying to keep a black field ant colony alive and build their numbers so much that we could use some of them as feeders. Take a look at how this colony has been growing and establishing their population in this habitat. I can't wait in the upcoming season 2 of the Woods Uncut, to potentially introduce the very first battle between the black field ants and the American toads. This could establish who takes the dominant spot across the PA Woods Vivarium. No, I'm not going to move the entire colony in because the toads would probably decimate this population. However, it'll still be entertaining seeing if the American toads can catch the black field ants. And this will also add a nutritious part to their diet. In my opinion, he's as majestic as a male lion hunting in the Serengeti. This Pennsylvania woods is his Serengeti. It's finally time to meet the main star from Season 1 of the Woods Uncut, the very unique looking and very dominant American toad named Ananias II. He's usually not seen because he hides and is very calculated with whenever he makes an appearance. But once he hears the ruckus above the surface, he emerges from his burrow, and everybody in the forest knows that it's time to observe an Ananias hunt, or have at least another Ananias encounter. He doesn't share any opportunities with the other toads, and whenever he wants to, he could become a dominant force, even scaring away Junia, who outweighs him by a good bit. Ananias has been one of the most exciting and enjoyable surprises this year. Watching this little toad hunt almost reminds me of watching a raven or a crow solve a puzzle, because he's very strategic and he's very calculated. Yes, he's very ferocious, but he's trying to think about the outcome before it takes place. He's trying, in this scene, to decide whether or not he should try to eat a slightly larger hornworm than he's comfortable with. If it's something that he thinks is too big, he usually spits it out and will not give it another try. It appears he thinks this hornworm was a little bit too big, so it was time to offer another option. His favorite prey item appears to be slightly smaller dubio roaches. He fills up on this nutritious meal. It was a rainy night during Frog Week 2024 when I encountered an American toad, very dark-eyed and very dark-colored, on the side of the road. I decided to pick him up, and I wanted to make sure he wasn't sick. But as time went on, I learned that he was just naturally this color, and he wasn't sick at all. After multiple vet visits, we determined that Ananias is just naturally a darker complected American toad, and his eyes might indicate that maybe he was formerly melanistic, a very dark American toad. He has a very unique story coming from one of the populations that we focus on for Frog Week as we have historically throughout the years. He represents a mighty population of American toads. After careful consideration, I selected the name Ananias for this American toad based on Ananias of Damascus, a biblical figure who had a very small role in the Bible, but he was given the task of doing one of the greatest things in his conversion of Paul. In this, he was an American toad who has a very humble beginning, finding him on the side of the road.
Bring out today! Here's one. Ninepence.
I'm not dead.
What?
Nothing. Here's your ninepence.
I'm not dead. There. He says he's not dead.
Yes, he is.
I'm not.
Who would have thought this little American toad would become the main feature of our flagship show, The Woods Uncut?
Fatality.
The reason why his name is Ananias II is out of respect for a wood frog that was road rescued years before in the exact same location. Long story short, I was planning to keep that wood frog by giving it a name, but deciding not to, I released it back after it was nursed back to proper health, but I still wanted to let that animal retain the name. So allowing him to keep the first version of the name, I decided to call this toad Ananias II. Finally, there's a scene of Ananias having to hunt something while it's not flipped on its back. Is he truly the amazing hunter, or have I been protecting him? Let's find out. Ironically, after we started adding the caterpillars and roaches into the equation, the American toads started to settle down and then became the type of hunters that I had envisioned for this episode. Finally, we were seeing some success from the American toads hunting the grasshoppers. It just took a little bit of time.
Fatality.
This is where Junia's aggressive and bold behavior failed her and cost her a meal. Keep your eyes peeled on the grasshopper that's going to jump away and land right in front of Ananias. And as calm, cool, and collective as he is, he snags it. Take a look.
Fatality.
This enclosure was never just glass and soil. It was a promise. A promise to Ace, the toad who started it all. She wasn't just an animal. She was the heartbeat of a dream. The 242-gallon PA Woods Vivarium was made for her. A sanctuary, a stage, a throne, a kingdom. And the toads living here now, they didn't inherit just a vivarium. They inherited the keys to the kingdom, a legacy built from a matriarch. When Ace passed away on the very morning of the first day of Frog Week 2024, the kingdom fell silent. It was as if the walls themselves mourned. The moss browned, the flowers withered, and I didn't know if I wanted to go on. Not with Frog Week, and not with frogs, not with anything. For a long time, it felt like Narnia under the White Witch, frozen in grief, stuck in an eternal winter. No spring, no song, no life. But these toads, Junia with her fire, Baldwin with his fight, and Ananias II with his quiet strength, they wrapped their tiny arms around my heart. They, along with the gray tree frogs and Max, slowly pulled me out of a snowdrift. They reminded me why I fell in love with this wild world in the first place. They reminded me that joy still exists, and that stories, even broken ones, still matter. And now the land is changing. The freeze is lifting, and the old kingdom is melting away, not forgotten, but fulfilled. And in its place, something new is growing. These toads will no longer dwell in the shadow of the past. They will walk, hop, and burrow into the kingdom they deserve, one that listens to them, honors them, and evolves with them. The flowers will bloom again, and the canopy will thicken, and the temperatures will rise. Spring is coming, and with it is a new chapter for the PA Woods Vivarium, and also for me. I hope that you enjoyed this episode as we dedicate it to the matriarch, and of course, the main reason that this show even existed, Ace, the female American toad. I hope that you'll continue to watch Frog Week for the finale and the most amazing conclusion that we could offer you this year. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Consider liking and subscribing to watch the Woods Uncut Season 2 coming out soon. Thanks. We'll see you in the next one.